Elon Musk defended the dip in EV growth yesterday after reporting lower than expected earnings. Take a listen.
As people have seen, the EV adoption rate globally is under pressure, and a lot of other auto manufacturers are pulling back on EVs and pursuing plug-in hybrids instead. We believe this is not the right strategy, and electric vehicles will ultimately dominate the market.
Elon also announcing that Tesla would be starting production of new affordable EVs by early 2025. A lot of investors cheering that news. Joining us right now is Jon McNeill. He is a DVx Ventures CEO and a former Tesla president. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So tell us how we're supposed to think about this, because I think a lot of investors were both looking at both the sales piece, which is the decline and what's happening to EVs. The bulls are saying this is great news that the lower-priced vehicle may be coming. Unclear what the timeline really looks like, because robotaxis are also apparently part of this. And then there's a CapEx piece of this, which is how much money they're actually going to spend to do this. It seems like they're pulling back a little bit on some of their sort of big plans to sort of completely remake these factories, and are sort of taking a middle path in terms of using some of the facilities they already have. Is that a decent summary of what's happened on that call?
I think that's a decent summary. I think you had kind of two contrasts yesterday. You had the GM earnings before the market, and you had the Tesla earnings after the market. GM did a triple beat, and they are getting through their production issues and now ramping EVs, which I think creates demand challenges for Tesla, because there's so many now EV alternatives coming to market. And so I think they are having to answer the pressure to have lower cost EVs.
Right.
At the same time, they're trying to move the story to autonomy and the longer term autonomous vehicle story.
For the investor, though, today, who's thinking about Tesla, do you have to think about it? And I think he's made the case. You have to think about it as an autonomous vehicle company long term to capture the valuations of where even Tesla sits in terms of the stock price today.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of, hey, look over here, when the core business is weak, let's recast a different story. And I think there's a little bit of that going on for sure, because their core business is weak, and they were straightforward about that. But I think, to support a valuation, you've got to believe in this recast into autonomous.
Okay, so straight up, do you believe it?
Well, I think there are already two companies that are doing driverless cars, and so there's a race where two are already out there.
Right.
And Tesla, if they can get there, would be the third. And I do believe that cars need to be autonomous. 10 years from now, you probably won't buy a car if it's not.
Okay, so that's 10 years from now. But the question is, given that there are already vehicles that, they have a totally different kind of rig, LiDAR, radar, lots of other kind of sensors. It's a very expensive product. I'm thinking of Cruise and the like, and Waymo.
Yeah.
Do you think that Tesla can do it, and do it with the tech stack that's already on the vehicle, which is to say that Elon has said repeatedly he wants to be able to do this whole thing with cameras and processing power?
Yeah, I think that's the big question. Like, we've been waiting since 2015 for the finish line to arrive, and the finish line keeps moving out and out and out. And people that work on this problem say, hey, we're 95% done, but the last 5% is like as big as the first 95%. And so where that finish line is when we finally get there, whether it's Tesla or others, I don't think anybody knows. But we're closer than we've been.
And in terms of these more affordable vehicles, do you think those will compete well against what you're seeing out of GM and what you're seeing out of these other car makers?
I think you need lower. You've got to open the market, and the broad market is at the lower price. And so, in a couple of months, you can buy a Chevy Equinox after the tax incentive. It's like $27,500 for a 300+ mile range car. That's a small SUV. And there are a number of those vehicles coming out, and I think that's going to be formidable competition. It's going to give the consumer a lot more choice.
Should we be more concerned, though, about the competition, or more concerned about the idea, even, that the EV adoption is not staying at pace, right? That's the sort of bigger overhang of the whole situation. Are people going to go to hybrids? Are they going to stick with combustion engines? What's really happening here?
I think, we all knew the first quarter was coming, and what happened in the first quarter was most of the manufacturers lost the tax incentive credit. That is now back. So I think we're going to see very different numbers coming out of the rest of the year. because it was a slow first quarter, because consumers are smart. They know if they wait a few weeks or a few months, they're going to get it.
Is it that if they wait, they'll get it, or is it just that this market doesn't work without government incentives?
I think if they, it's a little bit of both. Like you've got to make EVs affordable, and so the government's helping while the car manufacturers bring their prices down and their costs down, and those cost downs are happening. So I think when you have like a Chevy Bolt, and that's priced in the 20s, you've got a very viable car without tax incentives, even more viable with tax incentives.
But the hybrid situation is a real one, too. I mean, we just had a car manufacturer, a car salesperson, group one, who heads all these car companies. He said consumers really want hybrids, too, when they're walking in there.
Yeah, there's a difference between hybrids and plug-in hybrids. Hybrids tend to be more expensive than gas, so it doesn't answer that cost issue or price issue. But plug-in hybrids, you can get the range that most people drive every day with a plug-in hybrid. And so I think you're going to see people leaning into plug-in hybrids, and that's where GM.
What do you make of the sort of political divide around EVs? You talk to some leaders of vehicle makers today, and they say, look, in red states, buying an EV is not a palatable product, that this has been so politicized that there's a view that if it's like having a bumper sticker on the back of your car. If you're driving an EV, for a certain type of person, that's a bad sign, and for a certain kind of person, that's a good sign. And maybe it splits across political parties in some ways. Do you believe that is actually happening?
I live in a purple state, but on the red side of the purple state, and I've been driving a Chevy Silverado EV. Okay. It's got 460 miles of range. I pull up in the grocery store, the hardware store parking lot. I get a lot of questions like, what is that thing? Is it full size? How far? How much range do you get? Can I look at it? And so I don't get that vibe from the farmers and ranchers that are
so you don't
curious
believe,
about
you don't
that
believe
car.
the sort of
they are not saying, hey, I'm not interested in this because of my political views. They're genuinely
John,
interested in it.
The Biden Energy Information Administration is estimating what U.S. cars percentage by 2050 will be electric. Do you know what their estimate was?
So that estimate's been moving around a lot, between 50% and now down
12%.
And we're already at about 8%. So I think it's a layup to go from 8 to 12 between now and 2030.
No, this is 2050.
Oh yeah, I don't think.
But that's from the Biden administration.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's not from a red state person. That's from,
yeah, I think the car manufacturers have very different views of that market.
Yeah, they've had to revise their. It's cost them some money revising.
And how big that EV market will be.